Alright guys, Hutchgramic again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. One of the big talking points every single CDL season at this point is something to do with online Call of Duty, especially the way the qualifiers are currently being run. The players want to ensure that every online match they play, they have equal pings to their opposition. The CDL has introduced this ping tool over the last couple of seasons to supposedly level the playing field. Many pros though don't believe that it really works, and certainly Dashy and Scrappy have exactly that opinion. What's the solution? Is there an easy one? Very much interested to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Just a couple of quick things to mention. Firstly from Aches here, he's cooking something. Now, I'm guessing this is XDefiant related. One of my hopes really this off-season was that we actually might have some interesting things to watch if the players are going to get on XDefiant, because XDefiant is clearly intending to compete with the Call of Duty market. That's, you know, the game is a first-person shooter. They're going to surely have some sort of ranked mode competitive scene around that game, and well, we'll see how it goes. The game, I played like, I think 1 or 2 maps right at the end of the beta, and it's pretty good. So I don't really know when it's getting released. Maybe they've had to delay it for various reasons, but Aches is implying that it's happening, I guess, kind of soon. We also mentioned yesterday that FaZe had won more series than Guerrillas have actually ever played. And to take this one step further, which is like a crazy stray and a funny stat, but to make it even worse, I thought it was pretty funny here from FaZe Codmuse that during the Cold War season, which was FaZe's most dominant season, they won 37 matches that year. So in the last 4 seasons of COD, FaZe in a single season matched what Guerrillas have done in the last 4, which again is, you know, just to add insult to injury, I suppose. Now, this is another spot in Vancouver at the Rogers Arena. So this is the Vancouver Canucks, is it, logo, and this is all their other properties. And you can see the Seattle Surge logo as it stands on here. This is a picture taken in Vancouver, I believe, just yesterday or the day before. Now, it's the same ownership group, so you might think, okay, sure, fine, whatever. But it's an interesting spot, I think, nonetheless, that, because the theory is that Vancouver Surge is going to be the thing next season, and they're going to move there where most of their other esports properties are based. It makes a lot of sense. Will they change the branding if that's the case? I guess we'll see about that. But and also there's been thoughts that if they're stuck in Vancouver, especially this is related to the ping situation we're going to discuss, because if you thought playing from LA was bad, playing from Vancouver apparently is not going to be ideal. If you're playing from Vancouver and the team is based there against a Texas team, you might be having a rather hard time. This is always a big talking point, and it has been for the Los Angeles Thieves rosters over the last couple of years, that they always tend to be better on LAN than online, because online, playing from LA or just California in general has never been great. Wasn't it the World War II season when Scump was based in LA, and it was a bit of a mess. Like, he had internet issues. Slasher made the point plenty of times as well, especially when the pandemic happened and everything went online in the Modern Warfare season. That's like, he's got to get out of LA. It's just a disaster there. Parasites made the point, and they went to, at least for champs that year, up to Gaming Los Angeles, went to Texas to play, because even in an online environment, you want all the advantages you can get. Now, so if the team actually is a Vancouver Surge team, because Seattle Surge have been based out of Texas the last couple of years, not Seattle. But so we'll see. Maybe they do the same thing. The team is called Vancouver, but the team is still based in Texas, which might be the most likely possibility, and it does improve your chances to win online. And this is the thing, the ping tool theoretically negates any of these issues, but yet we still see that Los Angeles Thieves and were Guerrillas based out of there that season as well. This season, certainly London were also based out of that region as well, and it feels like, I think maybe the numbers also imply this, that people do worse in these regions that theoretically should be worse from an internet perspective, despite the fact that the ping tool is meant to negate all of this stuff. And that's what we're going to get into now. So Dashy and Scrappy and TJ, they've been playing some high roller pots. I think they lost one last night. There was a Redwood Chow. I might be able to share the clip for you guys here in a second. And they've been saying some other things as well, and I'll definitely address that in the coming minutes after I show all the clips for you guys. But definitely this has been a big talking point every single year, and it's on the CDL adding pings artificially. They came up with this ping equalization tool that they've used for a couple of seasons now, and the theory is that, let's say you've got one team from Texas and one team that's, you know, in Atlanta or something. Let's say it's FaZe versus a Texas team. You're going to find a server, or even let's say it's Optic versus Los Angeles Thieves, and they're going to find, let's say, the Denver server or something, and that's what they're going to play on. So the Denver, Colorado server, like somewhere in between LA and Texas, so theoretically the pings should kind of be a little bit more equalized. Now, often that's not really the case, and the Texas teams teams will still benefit somehow, and therefore the CDL has some tool that they use, and I'm guessing they use this in Overwatch as well, to increase the ping artificially of the players that have the worst ping to level the playing field. So let's say you're playing on the Denver server, the Texas team is pinging 20, the LA team is pinging 30, then you would add 10 ping artificially to the Texas team to make it equal. And, apparently this works. The players aren't so convinced that this works.
You know, I'm calling Fugazi on the MLT bullshit.
MLT, what is that?
The ping shit.
That is bull. I like that scrap. That is some bullshit. They're like, nah, man, we added, bro. Yo, they'll put you on like a host, but like they'll quote unquote add pings.
We're just gonna even it out.
Yeah. We'll give him it's 30, guys.
Wait, that is 100% host.
Yeah, bro. Like they'll be like, we'll give you guys bro. I remember once they put us on. Dude, I don't know. I remember which server it was. I think it might have been against. Was it against you guys, Scrap? Actually, no, I don't think so. It was against one team that it was blatantly like we were getting, bro.
Because we refused to play Atlanta.
Okay, no, it was Chicago. So it was you guys. It was okay. We're playing Scraps team. We're playing Toronto, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna give because bro, Toronto pings like 15 to Chicago, and we ping like 45. Like we're just gonna give him 40 for they're just gonna even out to 45. You guys are good. I'm like, what? I'm like, nah. We're gonna play Texas. We can even it out there, bro. Trust. Like, let's play Texas. Well, I pings there. Trust. Nah, bro, there's no way you could like add pings and then it would make your guys like it would make your game feel different like on the same server. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still gonna feel godlike, bro.
But yeah, everybody should be in Texas. What are we doing? Like getting inside the wires and just lagging.
Yeah. So now it feels like Cali. Like what is this shit? Like there's no way, bro. Owes me some, bro. I ain't even asking for a cut. Just
he's the king. He's the kingpin of all the channels.
Saying, bro, just take me out for a nice steak, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like yeah. A nice thing, some red wine, you know what I mean? It's like
this guy's in the most boring off-season point right now, still making 4 videos a day.
How is he finessing content?
How does he have 4 videos?
How is he finessing drama? I swear there's nothing going on. Like I swear to get on every day. I'm like nothing's. It's so.
Everyone's sleeping.
I swear, and I'm like, what the? I'm like, wait, there's drama. Like, there's heat, and it's Charles. It's me and Charles.
Charles.
I said, what the is going on? There's no way, bro. The fact that we got Charles on a thumbnail, we got to get the season going, bro. Like
no, we actually do. We have 4 months too. We have 4 months.
Yo, we're gonna get a picture of Charles on the thumbnail. Yeah, bro. This offseason's way too long, bro. Like
my bad.
We get toast. They probably do, right? Because we won 2-5-5. Yeah. Damn it, bro. Should have won the last round, bro.
So before we dive into some of the pings in more detail, I wanted to address what Scrappy and Dashy had to say. They thought it was hilarious the way they were talking about that stuff. And, I should be in the... Hopefully, if there's a Texas event this season, I'll be at that one. So Dashy's listening. I would be more than happy to take Dashy for a steak dinner. And Octane as well. Bring Octane along, like all the thumbnail kings over the last couple of years. I think it'd be nice. And I'm absolutely down to do that. And that is the reality of the way the off-season goes. That I mean, look, I would love to be able to talk about a massive story every single day. But the way the off-season is, the way the CDL is structured, unfortunately, means that a lot of the time there isn't really that much happening in the off season, and it means these kind of like petty drama stories are the things that hopefully keep the scene entertaining for people, because we're trying to keep the off season as entertaining as possible here. The CDL doesn't really help us out too much with this, with how they structure their season. So in order to keep it entertaining for fans that want to know what's going on, that's the way that I generally make things happen here in the off season. I also will say that a lot of the times the pros, and I get their perspective right, but the pros have to realize that they're not I know that they know this, and I had a nice conversation with Clayster about this actually at Major 5 in Toronto, because the pros aren't the target audience for this content, right? Not everyone's going to like it, and that's fine, but the pros certainly aren't the intended audience for these videos, so I don't expect them to like them or to appreciate them or anything like this, but I thought it was funny, and yeah, for sure, let's have a steak dinner in Texas or Toronto or something next season. That'd be good fun. But let's get back into this ping situation then, because as Nasty says, so this was back in February, right? And there's been drama on this every month in the CDL. There's some drama about this on one match or another, and it will happen this upcoming season as well, because it's still going to be online, and we'll get into that in a second. So as Nasty says, GG's Boston lost 3-2, got absolutely robbed map 1. So they're on some server where they were pinging 50, their team, and I think they were based out of LA, London last year. That might be the case, might not be, but I think it was. And then the other team, Boston, were all on 33 ping exactly. So you guys can see that the team is in the same place, they're playing on the same internet line, the pings between the players are basically identical, but yet the London guys had 20 ping more. And you might say, oh, it's not such a big deal, I play on a massive number, which is fair enough, but still, when a match is this important, right, and it's in the CDL itself, you've got to equalize this. There was also talk from Skies that they were having server issues. So this is the thing, if the ping tool works, then how is it possible for the other team, Boston, to have 30 and the London guys to have 50? That shouldn't be the case, surely. If the ping tool works properly, they should be equalized, and apparently it was a server thing, and then they changed servers and it was okay. But still, if the ping equalization tool worked, then you would think that probably wouldn't be so much of an issue. And, you know, even in March, we had some discussions here between Nero, talking about, like, the ping tool was definitely used, we're terrible at ping to Texas or whatever, but apparently still, it wasn't really working so well for those guys. And even we saw this back in February, like a big thread here of the cheating drama that was happening at the time, because there's always stuff like this through the season. And as Octane said, online COD is fake in every way. I love it. People use sound equalization, G8 settings, the ping tool, it's all awesome. So, like, it's the general opinion of the pros that the ping tool doesn't really seem to work. Now, I don't, obviously, like, I haven't played on these servers with the ping tool, so it's tough to say, but the theory would be that even if it's adding ping, it either isn't really, or it's adding too much ping, and it makes the server feel a little bit funky, because if you're artificially adding a delay, you know, is that going to make the server a little bit strange? I don't know. And the general theory has been from the pros that it doesn't really work properly and it's causing issues. And Dashi and Scrappy certainly seem to think that it doesn't really work as intended, at least. So either they've got to fix their tool if it is actually broken. The CDL says it's perfectly fine and it's functional. It might be. It might just be the pros with some sort of, like, placebo effect that it's actually affecting things that it isn't. But in an ideal world, you could resolve these issues if you just played on LAN. And this is where it all comes back to the story. And look, we know the CDL isn't going to do this, especially at the moment. The CDL and Activision, they're getting sold to Microsoft. Microsoft, I'm pretty confident, to be honest, that sometime next year, Microsoft are going to come along and change the trajectory of the Call of Duty League. Whether that's for good or for ill, we don't know. But right now, the CDL is certainly not putting any more money into this league going forward. It's like, if our season this upcoming year is as good as last season, I'll actually be surprised. Like, I don't think they're going to put as much commitment into it. They're certainly not going to commit as it stands to, making the league a LAN league again. That's what we used to do back in World War II, Black Ops 4, Infinite Warfare, stuff like this. The Pro League used to be done in, let's say the Columbus Studios on LAN, and that's how they played their qualifying games effectively, which was great, right? I mean, obviously it has its pros and its cons. The teams have to be out there all the time. The splits are difficult to manage. There's games like all through the week, midweek, because there's nothing else you can really do. But still, you get to play in a fairer environment without any of these ping issues that always occur every single year online. And you've got to wonder that a league theoretically of this quality and caliber should be able to find a way to make this happen, you would think. And it happened in the past, but ever since the CDL's come along, and ever since, the pandemic happened, and they realise, it's actually way cheaper to do this all online, that's what they've done. And you can't blame them in some sense, and in some sense, the online qualifiers are actually quite good, at least to watch every weekend. The teams don't have to fly anywhere, but logistically, that's fine. But from another perspective, it causes problems. Just before we close out here, I thought this was kind of nice. So some discussion over the last few days. What's the most iconic 1 versus 1 of all time? Certainly Scump versus Selim is one of them. There's a few other candidates as well, I would say. Karma versus Fastballer is one that also first came to mind. Infinite Warfare, CWL Atlanta. There was this one as well, right? Envoy versus TJ during the Modern Warfare 19 season for the World Championship that year. There was also this one that Optic put out, right? The Scump versus Shotzi one that happened when Dallas Empire still existed, where, like, I don't actually know still how Shotzi lost this gunfight, but he gets absolutely fried here by Scump in that 1 versus 1. The one that came to mind for me as well was, Skies versus Methods. I don't really mean to throw Ziddy astray here, but this just shows how cheesy Stimshot was, because I don't really think Methods made that many mistakes. But you see here that Methods tags him up, he's down to 48, immediately he's back to 150, now he's down to 48 again, he gets Stimshot back again, and by the time that Skies slides slides in here, Zinni gets him one shot again. Like, he hit so many shots, but yeah, unfortunately, that's the way the game was played. Pretty iconic one, but very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.